Good evening, Autoimmune Tribe. Sarah here. I am in Missouri this Sunday, and very usual for this month, right? I've been all over the place, and I'm in a home there was like 50 people over earlier, so I just found like a quiet spot where I could chat with you. So when you guys jump on, let me know. And this evening, I just really wanted to tune into limiting beliefs. This is something that I talk a lot about and something I've worked on personally a lot. And it's something that keeps coming back up because there's always more layers to this. It's like we think we hit the things we need, and then there's more to work on, right? And I think it presents itself in a way that is really divine timing, and it's like we can't tackle all of these things at once. So it's okay to like take your time as you're working through some of these limiting beliefs and blocks, and eventually beginning to let things go. So this is a series of, I think, 9 or 10 questions that we're going to go through here. And as you answer the questions, and I'm going to provide some examples, I just want to give proper credit to where this comes from. So I'm reading this book right now on manifesting money, and the Manifestation Babe is where this method of releasing limiting beliefs comes from, because there's many different ways to release limiting beliefs. This is just one, okay? And so I'd love to see how this resonates with you as compared to maybe some other ways that you have worked on limiting beliefs before, or maybe this is brand new to you, okay? So as we begin here, I just want you to pick something, okay? And we're going to use that one thing to work through today. And again, I'm going to use some examples for you as well. So the first question is, what is a behavior that's holding you back, okay? What is a behavior that's holding you back? That can be holding you back from healing. That could be holding you back from health. That could be holding you back from happiness or joy or wellness, or from having energy in your life. What is something that's holding you back from those feelings you desire, okay? If you're just jumping on, the question is, what is a behavior that is holding you back, okay? And so I kind of wanted to use this example of staying up too late for you guys as I was talking through this today. But I think I'm going to change, and I'm going to work through one of my personal limiting beliefs with you guys instead of just using an example. Because I had something that came up for me today. I went to a funeral for the first time since my brother's funeral, and honestly, it was really emotion provoking. It brought up a lot of energy that I really had kind of pushed away, and really brought it all to the surface in a really heavy way that I wasn't really expecting. So I'm thinking that the example I'll use for you this evening is trying to feel the behavior that's holding me back, trying to feel like I have to be okay? So this kind of sense of I'm fine, or that the negative emotion is bad, right? Okay? And maybe I'll parallel that with a simpler example of staying up too late, okay? So write in the comments, what is a behavior holding you back? What's holding you back? Okay, what is something that you do that you know is not helping you, or a thought process that you automatically go to that you again know is not helping you heal, have health, have wealth, have happiness, have joy, whatever it may be. Okay, so I want you to just write that down and add it into the comments here so I can give you guys some feedback. And the next question is, number 2, what is the underlying limiting belief related to that behavior? Okay, so let's use these 2 examples again. What is the underlying limiting belief related to that behavior? Well, if the behavior is that I have to be okay, the limiting belief is like the same, right? So it's that I have to be okay. This belief that I can't not be okay, right? That I have to always be okay, and that there can't be this negative emotion or this sadness or this fear or this pain, that there always has to be, that it has to be kind of even keeled, right? For staying up too late, maybe the underlying limiting belief is that you can't go to bed until you've done this and this and this. Everything has been checked off your to-do list. Going to bed early makes you weak, or you have to stay up working late or you won't be successful, or you won't make money, or you won't learn enough about healing, something like that. What is the limiting belief that's behind that? So Kathy, thanks for joining us. Hi, happy Sunday. The first question was, what is a behavior holding you back? Okay, and I provided 2 examples that I'm working through. Number 1, staying up too late. I know that's something that could be holding some of you back. Number 2, on a personal level, I decided to share my feeling or behavior of acting okay. And so then the underlying limiting belief is, for the staying up too late, I can't go to bed until X, Y, and Z is done. I have to work late or I won't be successful. And then again, for the being okay, it's like that I can't not be okay, right? I think a lot of us can probably relate to that as well. Okay. Nicole says, procrastination is the behavior that gets in the way. Yes, perfect. And good for you for identifying that. And you say the underlying belief is that I won't have enough money, all relating to registering for my intern number. Right. Okay. So there's this fear that's in the way, right? And this underlying limiting belief relating to that behavior is that you won't have enough money. So now I want you, and Kathy, if you're working along with us as well, to answer question number 3, because we're going to work through this. So what is the source of that belief? Nicole, why don't you think that you'll have enough money? Okay, so again, using the 2 examples that I'm providing for you guys today, and again, just because I do want to work through some of this on my own too. What's the source of this belief? Well, for staying up too late, okay, watching my dad stay up working late, and maybe like associating that with what, like, that was what you had to do, right? Or being told that only if you work hard you will be successful, or if you don't work hard you won't be happy, and for not feeling okay, or feeling like it's not okay to not be okay. It's not okay that made sense, right? The source of that belief, right? I think that has a lot to do with just society. I think that's where I get that, is that we are taught from our parents and from school, like, there's no class on emotions, right? Like, that emotions are like these big scary things, and that people aren't supposed to have them, right? So I think it's more of a societal message, and something that I've heard over and over, which is that you shouldn't be emotional, or it's like you're a bother, or you are a burden to the people around you if you aren't okay, right? Kathy says, thanks, hi, love you, love you. I skipped a party and was in bed by 7 last night. On that note, I'm only doing what I have to, and summer is fleeting. Yes. Good for taking care of yourself and being in bed by 7, right? So this example may not pertain to you today, which is awesome. You're not staying up too late and compromising maybe your health, right? So that's leads into question 4, which is, what are the benefits of holding on to the belief? Because this is something I've finally realized, is that there always is a benefit, right? Or else we wouldn't do it. So the benefit of the staying up late is that you do get shit done, right? Shit gets done. Maybe there's less to do for tomorrow. Maybe you do check everything off your to-do list, and that feels good for a second, right? Maybe if you stay up late, you feel more accomplished sometimes, right? And because sometimes we are staying up late and we're not actually doing shit. Or maybe when you stay up late, you like feel important. Does anyone ever, I feel like that was a message that was sent to me. It was like, well, I studied till 2 a.m. last night, so I'm important and I did so much shit, right? It's like, there is this hidden benefit of holding on to that belief, or else your body wouldn't have held on to that belief, okay? So again, with the it's not okay to not be okay, and that you have to be fine all the time, the benefit of holding on to that belief is that you do stay like in an emotional state of like fineness or okayness, right? And then maybe you don't attract as much attention to you, or you aren't seen as weak, or these are just stories we tell ourselves, right? Like, this isn't necessarily true. But what are the benefits that you've made up about that belief that are keeping you there and allowing your body to like maintain that belief, okay? And I think that's something that we don't always consider, is that there's actually a benefit of holding on to that belief, right? Kathy says, I just want to meditate, play with crystals, cards, oils, tapping. All that puts me in a zone that I have to pull out of to do work. Yeah. So maybe there's a little bit of avoidance there, right? But then, like, the benefit is that you're doing things that are actually helping your soul and filling you up and making you feel good, right? Nicole, I'm on disability and already sacrificing food for petrol or vice versa, hence my fear of not having enough money. Kathy says, the benefit of believing I have to budget my energy and not push through tired as I can be alone and not have to show up socially. I don't seem as old or fat or boring. Yeah, thank you guys for being so honest here, right? So what are the benefits of holding on to that belief? Like, get real with yourself, because there's gonna be something, again, or we wouldn't have kept that belief with us, okay? So the next question, number 5, is what are the consequences of holding on to that belief? So if you stay up late, right, we're going to keep coming back to these examples. If you're staying up till 1 a.m. because you feel like you can't go to sleep until you've checked everything off your to-do list, because if you don't check everything off your to-do list, you're completely worthless, then how are you going to feel in the morning? You're going to feel tired. You're going to compromise your immunity. So you might get sick. You're going to have lower energy. Your body's not going to have as much time for maintenance and growth and repair. You might feel completely uninspired to do anything the next day, so you feel really burnt out, right? What are the actual consequences of holding on to this belief? Kathy, totally avoidance through healthy means. Does that work? Yeah, so I think there is like a certain amount of things, right, that we have to do every day in order to feel good. So this is my opinion, right, is that the soulful work is amazing and my life doesn't feel as full without it. But it's like, if I only did that every day and I didn't do the dishes or the laundry, the soulful work is going to feel less good, because I'm going to be thinking about how I have to do other things, and then it's not going to be as soulful. Does that make sense? Or as healing to me, right? So I feel like that there maybe needs to be a little bit of a balance, and it depends on like how much time can you dedicate to the healing and the crystals and the cards, because if that's what fills you up, like, that's what you should make the most time for, right? But we just have to think about, are you avoiding it, right? Is there an unhealthy belief or behavior underneath there, right? So if you are avoiding things, I want you to think about why, right? Consequences for Kathy: loneliness, for friends and a boyfriend. How will I meet him from home? A reputation of only occasionally making it out. Yeah, and so it's really beautiful to just like recognize that that there are consequences of holding on to that belief, because in the moment we often tend to think like that we are serving ourselves, right? Staying up late, well, I'm going to get my whole to-do list done, right? But then we have to think about, what are the consequences of that in our lives, right? Or trying to keep your shit together all the time. What are the consequences? Well, the consequences might be that you have a complete and utter breakdown or blow up later on because you weren't able to express yourself in a really truthful, honest, raw way in the moment, because you had this belief that you weren't allowed to, and then later on it feels really heavy, right? I feel I have good priorities, but it is limiting. Yeah, so it's limiting, right? You talked about your consequences. So the next question for you, Kathy, and everyone listening as you work through this is, number 6 is this the ultimate truth? Okay? So meaning, is that limiting belief the ultimate truth, right? So is the belief that you can't go to bed until your to-do list is done, is that the ultimate truth? No. some days we do have deadlines, right? We have things that we need to get done or should get done, but ultimately that is not the truth, right? So if we go to some of your examples, like Nicole's, right? Underlying belief for Nicole was, I won't have enough money. Is that the ultimate truth? No, right? It's not, because we can attract more money into our lives, right? For Kathy, the limiting belief is, how did you word that, Kathy? We talked about the procrastination, right? I don't see a sentence of like what your limiting belief actually was, but if the limiting belief was that I'm allowed to procrastinate, or that all I have to do every day are things that feel really wonderful to me, like, is that true? And you guys tell me, right? Is that true? Is there truth to that? Going back for Nicole, I suppose the benefit of this belief is extreme budgeting. Consequences is not getting ahead of bills, not having an emergency fund, not being able to get things done like intern registration and car repairs. It is not the ultimate truth. Still working on it. Right. Yes. So I'm glad that you've acknowledged that, Nicole, and said, okay, yes, that feeling like I have no money and there's never going to be enough does make me budget really well. It makes me very, look at my finances in a very, like, organized way, right? But is the ultimate truth that you will never have any money? No, right? And we can do so many things to manifest money into our lives. Kathy, again, no. The ultimate truth is the more I do, the more I can do. I don't want to go. Limited energy is my limiting belief. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for throwing that in there. Nicole, I've got to go drive. I'll catch up later. I need homework. Yes, okay, there's a couple more questions you can do for homework when you come back. So, is this the ultimate truth? Is the belief that you have to stay up, or that going to bed early makes you weak, or that you have to work late, or you will never be successful, the ultimate truth? Absolutely not, right? So what are some examples of why this is false? What are some examples of why this is not true, right? So, for example, not going to sleep really late, right? I know successful people who sleep plenty of the time, right? They might get 10 hours of sleep a night. I know plenty of people who sleep plenty, right? And does everything on your to-do list actually have to get done? No, right? Because maybe sometimes you put things on your to-do list just so you can check them off your to-do list, right? Like, maybe the laundry doesn't actually need to get done that day, right? Like, let's be really honest with ourselves and ask, does this actually need to get done? Is the ultimate truth that I have to be okay all the time? No, absolutely not. There is no universal law that says that you aren't allowed to cry in public like I did today, or that you aren't allowed to have negative emotions, you aren't allowed to be pissed off, or you aren't allowed to express yourself in an honest, raw way, right? So, no, this is not true, and we can provide examples to ourselves. We're proving to ourselves why it is false, right? Kathy, there's always a list as long as we live. Yes, exactly. So it's going to be never ending. You could keep adding because there's always going to be shit you need to get done, right? So does it all need to get done before you go to bed every single night? No, it won't. There's no way, right? We can just do our best. Okay, so number 7 is, what is the actual truth, okay? So using this going to bed too late as an example, what is the actual truth? What would the universe say to you? What would your friends say to you? What would your mom say to you? What would your spirit guide say to you, right? What would the highest good say to you? And so I think that it would say, sleep is healing. I love that Gabby Bernstein calls it a spiritual practice. Sleep is a spiritual practice. Things can wait until tomorrow, and that I'm already working hard, that I already had a productive day, that I already spent a lot of energy doing things that, were productive and made me feel good, right? And so what is the actual truth, right? For my other example of having to feel okay or be okay all the time, right? What is the actual truth? Well, the actual truth is that we're human and that we have a whole rainbow of emotions, right? That can take us on a bit of a roller coaster, but that can be really, really healthy, right? So that we're freaking human beings, that's the actual truth, and that part of our emotions are what make us human and make us unique, right? Okay. 2 more questions as we work through these limiting beliefs. Number 8, and keep commenting along. Love reading your guys' examples, whether you're listening to the recording or you're listening here live with me, and I'm sitting on the floor in a house of people. Okay. Number 8, what is the new thought that you choose to believe instead? Okay, I want us all to commit to this. What is the new belief that you choose to, new thought that you choose to believe instead, right? So again, coming back to this going to bed late sleep example, the new belief or thought could be, rest is a sacred part of my healing. What I do before, just give a time, right? What I do before 5 p.m., 7 p.m., whatever your schedule might look like, right? Maybe you're most productive between 7 and 8 p.m., so give yourself a number. What I do before that time is enough. That's enough, right? You put your energy in today. A new thought could be, I am strong, I am worthy of sleep, I am a hard worker no matter what even if I do less yesterday and more today and less tomorrow and more the next day, right? Some new thoughts that you could choose to believe in instead for feeling like you have to always be okay, right? Something really loving. I love myself no matter how I feel. I love myself no matter what emotions I'm experiencing this day. And I thought my hair was turning pink, and it's just my ear. The lighting's getting weird. The sun's going down, and I'm in front of a screen. Sorry, guys. I'm a human being, and I love myself no matter my negative emotions. I love myself even when it's not easy. I love myself through the negative thoughts, right? So what is the new thought that you can choose to believe in instead, right? Last question, how do you feel now? How does it feel to disprove that belief, explain its falsehood, and choose a new, more supporting belief? How does that feel for you? And I did this morning as part of my morning ritual before some of the things happened in my day today, and I worked through this feeling of money. It was a money block that I worked through. And afterwards, I felt clear. I felt clarity. I felt focused. I felt understood by the universe. And I felt like I had this kind of like logical way of looking at why my belief was limiting and why my belief was false. And I personally had to keep coming back to this. I had to keep reminding myself that it's a false belief and that I can choose a better, more supporting one for me, right? Kathy's new thought is, I'm an important part. Sharing my presence is a gift to bring the table. I don't leave it all at work. Yes, I love that, Kathy. That's beautiful. So, how do you feel now? And did anyone experience any shifts, personally for them? And I'd love to hear how that felt for you. And then I just want us to put our pens and papers down and fingers off the phone or the keyboard. And I just want to take like 2 minutes here. And I want you to take that new thought, just choose one, right? Let it be a few words, one sentence. So, for example, rest is a sacred part of my healing would be one example. Or, I am human and I love myself for being human could be another example. And let's just take 2 minutes to just get silent and affirm that to ourselves silently in our head, okay? So I'll ask that you just come into a meditative seat, or you can lay down, right? If you're driving, don't close your eyes. Otherwise, let's just close our eyes here. And let's get still. And I just want you to roll that mantra, that affirmation over in your head for 1 to 2 minutes, and then I'll guide us out. Really let it resonate, let it vibrate every cell of your body. It's like you're imprinting this new belief or thought process into your mind, your cells, your body, your energy body. And as you do so, just become more aware of your breath as well. And continue to repeat that affirmation over and over in your mind, feeling its truth, feeling its honesty, finding gratitude for yourself for getting honest and getting real and doing the fucking work, right? There are many of us who might just listen to these videos, and that's okay. But when you do the work, that's when you see the shift. So thank you. And I'm just going to share this next minute in silence with you. Just blink open your eyes. And let me know how this process was for you. And again, we have so many layers to us as human beings. So we can take this one example that we worked through the night and we can repeat this pattern over and over and over again as many times as you need, right? And when you're ready. So try not to force it and try to just do it as it comes naturally, right? Remembering to put in some of the work. So, thank you all for sharing that with me. I'm going to head over to book club for tonight. If you'd love to join that conversation, I'd love to have you in Autoimmune Tribe Book Club. Otherwise, I'll see you again next Sunday. Kathy, it was great. I feel awakened. Thank you for holding this space. You are so welcome. Thank you all for sharing this with me because, like I said, I used this example of rest and sleep. And then I realized that I had shit to work through today, right? So thank you for working through that with me, right? And just immense, immense gratitude for all of you. I'll see you guys next Sunday and have a great, great, amazing, amazing week. Love you.